Now that we have our page layout, let's go ahead and add some content. I'm going to put my cursor up in my banner area here, and over in the Insert tab, I'm going to open up the menu and I'm going to choose Text. And this gives me some of the most common text elements that are used in a typical website page. I'm going to scroll down until I find H1, H2, and H3. If you're familiar with HTML, you might remember that there are 6 different levels of headings, numbered H1 through H6. And they're used for outlines, they're used for headings. Most browsers will display these heading elements as large, bold text on their own line, so they're good for things like banners. I'm going to go ahead and choose to enter an H1 heading element. And I'm just going to put the name of this page here so that people know they've reached the home page of my site. And there's various things I can do as far as aligning that or moving it, but I'm just going to leave that as is just for the time being. As far as where to put your content on the page, there are a lot of schools of thought. I personally am of the school of thought that text belongs toward the right-hand side, images and other artwork belong toward the left-hand side. This has to do with the crossover of your optic nerves and which part of your brain processes which kind of information. So I'm going to go ahead and put some text on the right-hand side. I'm going to put my cursor right here. I'm going to insert a paragraph. And I can just enter, what might be marketing copy or any other sort of information that I might need. So here I've got some basic paragraph information. This is in a kind of element called a P element. P for paragraph. It's the most basic text containing element in HTML. If I want to highlight a particular word, such as the word professional, I'm going to highlight that text there, and I'm going to go over to the Insert tab and choose Emphasis. And that puts it in what's called an M tag. And so now I'm seeing it as the browser might show it. And most browsers will take an M tag, that's spelled EM, and show it as italicized text. All right. And one of the nice things about Dreamweaver is that once I have a paragraph of text, I made it clear where paragraphs are going to be, I can use it somewhat like a word processor. So if I put my cursor right here at the end of my first paragraph, I can hit enter or return on my keyboard, and it's going to enter a new paragraph for me, and I can just start typing. And if I would like to enter a list, for example, what's called an unordered list, a list with bullet points, I can scroll further down the Insert tab here and find UL for unordered list. And I see that it starts giving me some bullet points. And so, to a certain extent, they've tried to make it as much as possible like working with a word processor. There's a lot going on in terms of the underlying HTML code, but what I'm trying to emphasize here is that you don't necessarily need to know a great deal of that to create some basic information.